New update in the Tyre Nichols case. It looks like one of the defendants has now decided he is going to surrender his license. Okay, so that's a big deal. But I want you to hear this statement that his attorney actually made. I was thinking to myself, no, dude, that's not the statement to make here.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to the channel. Ms Legalista here, aka attorney Sheila. And as you heard me sort of getting my thoughts together there, maybe because I was thrown off by finding out this news first thing this morning, and I wanted to go ahead and share it so we could talk about it. There are a couple of thoughts that I have, but let's head over to this update that we have from the news media about what's going on here. And this is actually coming from, let me click on it so I can see it, WREG News Channel 3 out of Memphis. So apparently they had seen the agenda for Thursday for the Tennessee Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, where they are looking at the decertification of several of the officers who were formerly employed by the Memphis Police Department that were involved in the incident with Tyre Nichols. One of those attorneys, the attorney for Desmond Mills, gave an interview, but let's go through this and see what they say here. So let's see. They said he is surrendering his license to practice law enforcement in the state of Tennessee. This hearing is scheduled Thursday. This was involving the decertification. And here's his comment that he says. I'm going to play part of the video too. He said, Mr. Mills has taken the position that, well, you don't want me to work for you. Guess what? I don't want to work for you anyway, said Ballin. I think I've finally gotten his name right. I don't know, as an attorney, that that's the way you want to come across. Later on in this, he does talk about, spending the time wisely. But let me see if I can pull up this part because I do want you to hear what he actually says, what he's asked, so we can talk about this a little bit more.
Mr. Mills has taken the position that, well, you don't want me to work for you. Guess what? I don't want to work for you anyway.
I don't know. It just comes across as a little bit arrogant sounding. I think that there was a way for him to get the point across without sort of saying this whole thing. You don't want me, I don't want you either. Well, a person is gone. A person is dead. A person is deceased. He's passed as a result of part of your client's actions. This is what he's being accused of.
The state of Tennessee has wrongfully accused him of murder and other crimes. Why would he want to continue to be employed by them?
That allegedly he was one of the people who caused Tyre Nichols' death. To have an attorney be so cavalier and arrogant sounding, maybe it's just me. You let me know in the comments. Am I off base here with what I heard and the tone in his voice? I'm trying to think of a word to describe it, but it's just not coming to me right now. The tone in his voice was indignant. I think that's the term that I want to use, that was the way he came across, almost like he has an issue with them wanting to take his law enforcement license away. And he actually goes on to say,
he has wisely chosen to focus those on defending himself in the criminal case. So this is essentially meaningless to him.
There's no reason, and you heard this, there's no reason for the other accused officers to not surrender their licenses, he says, because they're going to decertify them anyway.
There's absolutely no reason for him to contest this. Frankly, there's no reason for any of these officers to contest this. They're going to revoke their certification.
Yeah. Okay. I think there was a way to talk about this without coming across the way he did. Hopefully none of the potential jurors are seeing that, because it does leave an impression in your mind. And hopefully he doesn't come across that way in the courtroom. I think that could be problematic if that is the way he's going to approach that. Is that going to be his demeanor in the courtroom? Because I don't think that that kind of demeanor is going to be helpful to his client. I would be put off just a little bit by it. I was caught off guard when he said it the way that he said it. Maybe it's just me. I'm I'm from the South. Somebody actually said in the comment yesterday that I talk slowly, and yes, I probably do. I'm just thinking here, this was not the way to go. Let's head over to this meeting. I want you to see what is going on with this meeting on Thursday. The agenda is online, and maybe I'll do a separate video that just talks about how you can watch this decertification meeting on Thursday. But let me try to pull up, let me get rid of some of this other stuff up here, page here. Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, informal hearing, March 23rd, 2023, 1 p.m. So if you don't have anything scheduled for lunch, this is what you can do. Maybe we can watch it live together. Appearing. So here are the people who will be appearing. It looks like they're going to be maybe a few other things going on here. Now, remember, this is for the whole state of Tennessee. They are licensed through the state. So you do have officers from other law enforcement agencies who will be a part of this hearing also. So you see that those are the first three there. Then you see the ones that are involved with the Tyre Nichols case, Demetrius Haley, Emmett Martin, Desmond Mills, and Justin Smith. But I heard during the piece there with the news channel that some of these have been put off to a later date. So not everybody's being heard. And let's see if we can scroll down and see what it says here. So it says, Demetrius J. Haley. Mr. Haley was submitted for decertification based on his termination for violating department policy. And then they'll have the information here, I guess, that they'll fill out. And they have that for all of them. So that's it. That's pretty much the agenda and what that looks like for Thursday, this Thursday. I'm also wondering about the EMT board and whether or not they are moving forward with Mr. Jamichael Sandridge. I haven't seen that hearing yet. They have an agenda, but they don't have a full listing of everything that's going on. It's just sort of a list. It doesn't say who's going to be appearing. Mr. Sandridge has not had the hearing yet that Mr. Long had, unless I missed it. And I don't think I missed it because I went back to the website and pulled up their calendar. But there you go. That's your update now. You now know that Mr. Desmond Mills has surrendered his license. Whether the other former officers are going to surrender theirs is a good question. Mr. Ballin did make a good point in saying, look, there's only a certain amount of time, a certain amount of energy, and a certain amount of money. You need to focus on what's important. If they're going to take your license anyway, then check that box and move on, is basically what he is saying. And that's probably practical and sound advice. I can imagine the other former officers are probably having the same conversations with their attorneys if they have not had those conversations already. For some, though, it may be worth really considering, because when you say I'm going to fight to keep my license, then it does send a message that maybe you're saying, hey, I don't think that all of the evidence is in yet. I think that we should be found guilty first, or I think we should go through the whole process. So there is a basis for saying that. But I do think that Mr. Ballin is probably the one who's proceeding here from a more practical position and saying they're very likely going to lose those licenses, and it may be better to focus on the criminal charges. So if this gives you more information, you're more updated now about what's going on, please give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.